Since time began, the stretch of the Severn running past Gloucester has been a complicated waterway. It has taken most of my life to get my head around it, and even today I am learning new facts. I will begin my story in the 15th century, when the Severn ran sedately down from the source nigh on 200 miles away, past Gloucester and on its way to the sea. Our story begins in the latter part of the 15th century, when one year an exceptional amount of rain fell. The Severn at Gloucester flooded to a very high level and stayed flooded for many weeks. Suddenly, as the flood water began to recede, a new leg of the Severn appeared, from where Sandhurst is today down to below Uver. Thus Alney Island was created. An island 2 miles long and 3/4 of a mile wide, crossed by 11 bridges, but I can guarantee that the majority of people travelling along the main road over it haven't a clue that they are on an island. The appearance of the island today bears little resemblance of how it looked during the 20th century and before. Following the Industrial Revolution of the 18th century, trade on the Severn increased. In 1827, the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal opened to bypass the difficult reaches in the river below the city. Trading craft had found it very difficult to navigate the treacherous channels of the Severn. The Severn above Gloucester was also difficult to navigate due to inadequate river levels. Finally, between 1843 and 1847, weirs and locks were built at Worcester and above, but still barges grounded whilst travelling down to Gloucester. It wasn't until 1858 that Upper Load Lock at Tewkesbury was built, and still barges grounded above Gloucester. Then in 1870 and 1871, Maisemore Weir and Lock and Lanthony Weir and Lock were built. At last, a decent level of water in the river between Gloucester and Stourport. An area changed beyond recognition is Lanthony Lock, opened in 1871 to allow vessels coming up the Severn from the sea to bypass Lanthony Weir, then to travel on up the Severn to Worcester and beyond, or lock into Gloucester Lock, opened in 1812 into the dock basin. Lanthony Lock closed to river traffic in 1924, and gradually both ends of the lock silted up, so much that today you cannot see where vessels would have entered or left the lock. Maisemore Lock opened in 1870 for narrowboats to bypass the weir, then to gain access at Uver to the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal. The lock closed in 1920 and is now on private land. All the industrial work on the island concentrated in this area of Lanthony. The lock, built to bypass the weir, seen here with part of the railway bridge, is today in the control of the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal Society. The private Lanthony Lock footbridge. Uver Railway Bridge, carrying the main line from Gloucester to South Wales. From near here, a branch led across the island to Lanthony. The Lanthony Railway Bridge, now derelict, carries goods traffic across the Severn and into Lanthony Marshalling Yard, where today the college is. A new coal-fired power station was built as part of a war emergency station on land at the Oxleys called Castlemeads Power Station, opened in 1942. This replaced the outdated power station in the centre of Gloucester. 30 years later it closed in 1972 and was finally demolished in 1978. We mentioned earlier that there are today 11 bridges crossing the Severn and Alney Island. Here are photographs of all of them, shown in no particular order. Uver Bridge is the most historically famous bridge, designed by Thomas Telford in 1831. I remember, as a young man in the early 1970s, sat on it all day, counting the traffic passing by, all part of a survey by Gloucestershire County Highways before the new adjacent bridge was built. Hoover Bridge closed to traffic in 1974. Today, Alney Island is a nature reserve with many attractive walks to use in which to explore this complicated part of the course of the Severn, Britain's longest river. Thank you for watching my film. If you liked it, why not subscribe to my channel and hit the like button? Meanwhile, I look forward to meeting you all again next week with a new film for you to enjoy. Bye!